Hey everyone, my name is Taryn and I will be taking you through a review of InboxAlly. InboxAlly is a really great, powerful tool for your email marketing strategy. So whether you've done this before and you're an experienced marketer or if you're just starting out, um, this may help you find the right tool to manage your email marketing. All right, so let's dive into everything that InboxAlly has to offer. And I think before we just jump into the details, it's important to understand why you do need to look at tools for email deliverability. So first of all, if you are anyone that sends out emails for marketing campaigns, for sales, perhaps even some use cases may be useful. You may be sending out emails to uh, your customer support recipients. Perhaps you're a content creator. You do need to be looking at if your emails are firstly getting delivered, and if they are getting delivered, are they being engaged with? So it is really critical to business success to monitor engagement, to find ways to improve it, to make sure that you are not looking like a spammy or junk email sender. So enhancing your reputation. Um, and then also show that you use the best practices for email authentication protocols. So some of the technical details I'll just run through in the next couple minutes to just show you where to find that on InboxAlly and how that can help you. All right, so if you're like me, initially this can look a little bit overwhelming, but I found that once I got sort of to grips with all the various icons on the left here, it does become easier once you've run a couple of campaigns or what they call broadcasts. It does become a little bit easier to understand where everything is and what it all means. All right, so if you've never run an email campaign before, what you could do is just use the Get Started button, which is really great. So I'm going to go to our first step here, which is Get Seed Emails. All right, now what seed emails are a list of test emails that InboxAlly can provide you with. In this case, I think they supply 82 test emails that do go out to active test inboxes. These are assigned to things like Gmail, Yahoo, G Suite, Hotmail, etc., so that you can use these as tests so that you don't have to test with live data or live information initially, which I thought was really cool, so that you can see what your campaigns are doing, learn how to strategize around this before going and sending out real campaigns. All right, you would need to then set up your send emails. So in this case, if you've got maybe one or two people in your marketing department, or if you're handling this yourself, you would then need to set up a sender email. So in this case, you can see I've got myself here and another person who may be running campaigns that would then manage the various broadcasts, but they do need to be added as send emails before you can continue. All right, once you've got that set up, you can then send out your first broadcast. So once you've downloaded your seed email lists, you would then create your email and send that out. So for example, this screen just shows us where we've got all this information here. So these are the broadcasts that I have sent out on various dates. So going into the bottom here, so we can see I sent out an email campaign on Saturday. 46 emails were received. So out of that big list, only 46 of them actually reached specific recipients, which can be quite frightening. So it's great to have a way to track this, actually, how many were actually sent out and how many were received. And we can see in the second email campaign I ran yesterday or today, only 22 emails of those were received. You can also have a quick look at your email placement. They do offer some graphs here, which are quite cool. But in terms of our email placement, so where those emails are landing, we can see that quite a lot of them are sitting in spam, which is not great. And that is something that I like to manage and track when I am monitoring engagement. All right, so if we've got tools like this, we do want to know how to perhaps increase the deliverability of our emails to make sure that they're not going to spam. So what we could then do is look at our email list verification. All right, so if perhaps you've got a list on hand with a lot of emails, so we've going to upload this one that we've got on hand. Unfortunately, you do have to have credits to process this, so to run your email list verifications. It is a really useful tool. All right, so what this looks for is perhaps duplicate email addresses. Sometimes people have left a specific company, that email address is no longer valid, and you don't want to be emailing those individuals. Perhaps they've got outdated email addresses that no longer apply, and again, you don't really want to be sending out emails to those specific email addresses. So what InboxAlly can do is assist you with that, which is really cool. And they can have a look at this information and assist you with uh, verifying or validating that data. All right. You can also use the placement tester, which I thought was quite cool. So using this to see where your emails end up. As mentioned, we could see this earlier where we saw that they were landing in spam and potentially not in inbox. All right, then if we have a look at our email audits, it's important that you use things like reports that will assist you in terms of these sort of tools. So I'm not going to do it this step of the process, but they do have tools like email audits that can help you. Okay, we already ran through our broadcast, but it's a good opportunity to just have a look to see how many emails have landed in inbox for my various campaigns and how many have not. So that can go down over time depending on your email list. All right, and as mentioned, have a look at your reports. I think that's really cool that they've got this feature here that it is quite self-explanatory. What I like to do is show information like this to specific stakeholders or customers. What you might want to do is track a specific list of email addresses and some test emails. See how many are delivering and to where, what that email placement looks like. If you're getting a really high amount of spam email message or notifications here, what you could then do is strategize in terms of how to bring that down. All right, then we've got our more technical section, which is our domain reports. Now, domain reports, again, not going to go into this in too much detail, but basically this, if you think about it as a way that, as a policy that helps you to prevent your email or your domain from spoofing. So basically, this helps just to prevent fake emails from being sent as you. You do want to have things like this, like DMARC policies, SPF records, or your sender policy framework records, just to assist you in ensuring that fake emails are not being sent out on your behalf. BIMI is quite a cool one. This is something that I generally suggest that my customers do use and have set up. So as a reminder, InboxAlly doesn't set this up for you. This would be your relevant email service provider or your technical team. But what you could do is have a look how to configure things like this. So as mentioned, BIMI actually what's called brand indicators for message identification. So it actually allows you to display your logo next to your emails in the recipient's inbox, which I think is great. So as being a trusted email sender, sending out email marketing messages or email marketing mails, when you see that logo on the side, I think it does feel more legitimate and trusted. So it's great that they can track stats like this. Really, really great to suggest, especially when you're sending out from a number of domains, that you have this configured. So just a nice value add here to show your customers or for your internal departments to consider enhancing or setting these up for your own domain. All right, the same thing goes for MX records or mail exchange. And again, just a setting that helps direct emails to the correct email addresses in your domain. So yeah, just some useful information here. I think it's a nice value add for them to have. All right, another really cool feature that InboxAlly has set up is they've got what's called a warm-up planner. You would need to then select your sender profile. So depending on how many active profiles you've got, I would look at this. It's a really great way to send test emails between your accounts in a really controlled manner. So what would typically happen, and I've seen this firsthand, is where we've got a really long distribution list, or in this case, seed emails, but your list of email addresses that you need to send out marketing messages to. Should you be a new domain or a new business that's just started up and you have never sent emails really to many people, to multiple email clients like Gmail, Yahoo, G Suite, etc. Should you go and send out thousands of emails, typically what the receivers will do is look at your sending rates have all of a sudden skyrocketed, and they may be seeing this as spam. So it's really important that you're not blocked or blacklisted. It's really hard to get your domain out of blacklisting states. I've been there. It is tricky, so I would suggest using things like a warm-up planner here. What you could do is say, okay, great, I don't know what deliverability metric I want to use to estimate with, so you could select, I don't know these. Maybe you want to look at complaints, and you do want to see how your contacts are added to your list. All right, you just set that up. Maybe you want to send 2,000 emails in a day. That would be quite a lot. We could see set up all these various tools, and then it would generate a plan for you to say, great, we think that you should send around about 84 emails a day to warm up your domain technically. If you can think about just sending out emails in a slow and steady fashion so that your domain is not blacklisted is really cool. Really great tool to have. I think it's a nice value add here. And another one I'm really excited about is the email content tester. It is in beta phase at the moment, and they've actually populated this with a really cool little bit of information. So what you could then do is go and add your own content. So I'm emailing from Acme Corp, and I think this is a great subject line. But what we could do is then say, score my subject line, and it will pick up things like spam words that are detected. They may trigger a likelihood of your emails being marked as spam. So what you could then do is say, fix my email. What it will then do is use AI to fix your email. And we can see here it's 83% improvement in those spam words, which is really great. You could then also then go and amend your subject line, rescore it, maybe find some alternatives. So if we're not sure what to do in terms of our content, perhaps you don't have a content department that you could speak to, you could then go and have a look at some alternatives, which I think is, again, really, really cool function to have. You could then go and select the new one, again, score your subject line, and then you could then use the suggested content here to send out emails with, which I think is really cool. What's quite nice is you can actually test this. So I've done a couple tests to see if, without looking at spam word removal here, and I do see that when I have removed spam words, that my email deliverability is a lot better, which is really cool. All right, and the team does have a really great knowledge base on hand. It is something that I think is quite a cool function for any users. If you're new, you can go through the tutorial, go through the support FAQ sections. You can also book a live demo, and you can also use their chatbot. So I actually tested this before. You could start a new chat, They do reply quite quickly, which is quite a nice value add. It is during working hours, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. during working days. But I have actually received a reply over the weekend before, which is quite cool. All right. Hopefully that helps you to decide on whether InboxAlly is for you. I would just, in closing, recommend looking at their pricing. Look, I do find them slightly on the pricey side, but they do have some really great features here. So just make sure that the pricing fits your budget. But the good news is that they do offer several pricing tiers, so perhaps you could find something that is in your realm. Um, and although it's user friendly, I think it might be overwhelming at first for non-technical people to get to grips with. But that's why I do think that their get started feature is really helpful here. So I would just suggest that you make use of all the features that they've got on hand. But overall, really cool. I think it's a great email deliverability tool. Great. Thanks for watching.